Hey y'all, it's AT2. I got like a weird message saying like StreamYard is in it's not stable or something like that. Some kind of weird message. Let me know. Can you guys see and hear me? Put a one in the chat if you can see and hear me, and I'll go ahead and play the intro while we get started. What's up, y'all? Hold on. I'm just checking my camera and everything like that, making sure it's okay. But it's saying like there's some kind of instability issue with StreamYard. I don't know what the hell is going on. This is my first time being live today, so yeah, and I haven't heard anybody say anything. It seemed like StreamYard worked fine for everybody else. But what's up, everybody? It's your boy AT2 here, bringing you another episode of Talk the Real Deal with AT2. How everybody doing? How everybody living? How everybody feeling today? What's up? It looks like I'm in jail. Like this kind of look like a jailhouse shirt. It's supposed to be like a light gray or something like that, but it looks like I'm in jail. I don't know. I've never been to jail. Let's be clear. I ain't a criminal. I ain't no killer, but don't push me. What's up, Smooth? What's up, Tracy? What's up, Go? What's up, Ronnie? What's up, C. Griffin? Who else we got here? What's up, Beauty for Ashes? What's up, Miss Barbara? What's up, Denitria? What's up, Poetic Poems? Hello. Okay, so what's up, Queen Bee Moore? So we're gonna watch it together because what I got from it was basically what Claudia was looking for, she was not going to get. Claudia was looking for this moment where they have like some kind of this beautiful clarity and like they resolved all their issues. Here's the thing. They definitely should have had a conversation before they decided to do a show together. And mind you, Claudia does her show every Wednesday with Erica Cobb. It's called Accidentally Informed. I think what they have going on is good, right? But I think adding Funky in there and then they didn't kind of like go over what they were going to do because basically what happened was that Erica thought, oh, I'm going to ask them, questions that the fans want to know. Well, Funky shut all that down and was all like, no, we not about to do that. So, and I got to give a shout out to Erica because, unlike Funky and Claudia, she's like a real journalist. So, I didn't know that she could be so messy, but I appreciated her. And I don't even want to call it messy, right? She was basically like, okay, people want to know what really happened and what went on. So I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm just going to get right to it. And so that's what she did. I honestly don't blame her. Do I think that she probably should have had like a set of questions and like at least told Funky beforehand? Yeah, but I mean, let's just go ahead and check it out together and then we can discuss it. And shout out to both of the ladies. They're cool. They're good people.
It really wasn't for him.
Hold on, let me go back.
Movies. Not mad at Tubi though, but this is a national release of a film. It's called Run, science fiction, and I can't wait for you to see it.
And it premieres August.
Okay, here we go. Here's Funky.
Okay, Erica, thank you so much for having me. What's going on, Claudia, girl?
What's up, Funky? How you feeling from?
I just did me a little piece of edible. I'm over here eating cotton candy. I got my vodka and cranberry, just like old time's sake. I am
like I'm back at work.
That part.
All right. Well, good to see you, and thank you for accepting the invitation.
Thank you for coming to the party.
Yeah. Listen. First of all, when my text messages go to my laptop, and I don't have all the numbers saved in my laptop. So I saw this number that I ain't talked to in a very long time pop up saying, "Are you gonna be in Essence?" Then I go to my phone, I see it's you. I'm like, what? I'm like, am I being like? Is this for real?
So when did you receive this text message?
Was it Friday? It was Friday, right?
Friday.
Was it Friday?
It was Friday.
Thursday?
It was Friday. It was the day before. It was Friday.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Friday.
I left that day to come.
If you're gonna invite me to your event, I feel like you should tell me like beforehand and not just, hey, pop up. And here's the thing. People always invite me to things like last minute, like, hey, this is going on. You want to come by? You want to swing by? That's fine. But somebody who we didn't have like a good relationship or we had some kind of falling out, I'm not just going to do a pop-up. Like, I need to know, like, okay, what is this going to be about? What's going on? But again, Claudia, I guess she's in this, she kind of talks about it where she's in this place where she wants to forgive everybody. So that's why she went.
It was Friday because you said I was packed. I said, hey, are you coming to Essence? And you said, I'm packing now. I fly out later tonight.
Yeah. And then he was like, come to my party. And I was like, okay, sure.
Okay.
And then
let me get in my national talk show host bag. I have some questions. Thank you.
Okay.
So this olive branch we all saw unfold. So you're saying on Friday is when you reached out to Claudia, and then we saw the flyer go out on Instagram. I immediately hearted it with like the flames and everything because I don't know if you know this, Funky, but I'm constantly like, hey, you know what happened? Can we get some mea culpa? Can we like, you know, I'm curious. I'm also, you know, perusing some information. So Funky, when did you make the decision that you were going to reach out to Claudia?
Winnie, I never knew you were in St. Lucia.
And why now?
2 seconds before I texted her. And like I said at the party, when Claudia walked into the room, days leading up to Essence, old clips of TGIF were coming in my feed somehow. And believe it or not, since I departed the show, whether I curated it on purpose or not, that stuff doesn't pop up in my feed. And so like some of our best moments popped up in my feed, like where is the leg and like some of the other famous moments. And I just stopped for a moment and I was like, you know, damn, like we used to have fun, you know, and you spend that 30-second, 50-second moment just closing your eyes, just reveling in the fun of it all. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of softened my heart to the situation. And then knowing who Claudia is and what she does for a living and how popular she is, like it's not far-fetched that she would be at Essence. And I was like, you know, shit.
Here's my thing. I still stand on what I said the first time. Mind you, y'all were asking me to review this whole damn, I was going to say Love and Hip Hop, TGIF reunion thing. Y'all asked me to. I waited a few days because I was like, nah. And then y'all kept asking, but y'all don't like my response. I still stand on Funky Dineva thought he was going to have his own show and everything like that. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. He is tired of doing this show that he does currently. Funky wants to be able to come in and just be able to just random rally off or randomly just talk about different topics, give his talking points, you know, throw in a couple of jokes here and there, and that's it. He's not actually trying to do work as far as research and all this other stuff. Like, he wants it to already be laid out because let's be honest, with TGIF, they were given the topics. Everything as far as production was taken care of. He has to do it himself. He doesn't want to work like that. So I still stand on that still to this day. I'm not changing that.
Show was over at this point. Ain't no need for nobody to be mad at no damn body because the shit's gone. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not one of those people that harboring bitterness, harboring anger makes you look old. You know what I'm saying? I think anger and I think bitterness, I think it's a waste of an emotion. So I was like, you know, shit, I'm feeling good. The clips got me feeling soft. I reached out to Claudia and said, hey girl, you know, are you coming to Essence? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, you should stop by the party. And she was like, okay. And I was like, you know what? Like, we'll really mess up the internet if I put you on the flyer. She was like, go ahead. And
you know what's funny? You don't know this, but before you text me that, I had drafted a message saying we should really fuck him up and out, like, you know, announce it. And then I deleted it. I go, no, he might think I'm being thirsty, trying to cloud chase. I was in my head, so I deleted it.
And then I sent it.
And I was like, fuck yeah, let's run it up. So,
And it worked. And what people witnessed was just, you know, it was an organic moment. She walked through the door And I had the DJ stop, and I didn't think about anything. I just said what I was feeling in the moment and what I had been feeling for the last couple of days.
It felt like I was getting proposed to from a boyfriend I ain't talked to in a long time. I couldn't act a fool because there was too many people in the room. And I was like, but then you're like, but it's nice, but it's still nice. You know what I'm saying? Like it was, I did see some people say, oh, they planned this. I'm like, no, there was no planning of this. And it was very organic. It was very in the moment. And I think you can tell from the reaction.
I did not hear about this. Apple Pie said Funky didn't quit. He got fired over what he said about Haley Bailey. A few months before Funky, he was mad at Claudia for not talking to the higher ups to help save his job. Michelle was right about. Shout out to Michelle ATLian. What's up, Tia? How you doing? Okay, here we go. Continue.
People that were there and from our faces, like we were like, oh, okay. So yeah, it was nice.
I want to like actually kind of unpack this too, because obviously, you know, I mentioned that I did a national talk show as well because I'm familiar with ensembles. And I think for the average viewer, the average viewer doesn't necessarily understand the chemistry, the dynamics, the complexity of being a part of an ensemble cast. And sometimes there's fallout, and clearly there was fallout between the two of you. So anytime, you know, obviously most people are I won't even say most, I won't quantify it, but a lot of people are super excited and happy about this moment. But a lot of people, because they personally relate to you as a person and a personality, have feelings about what happened and how we are today. So I know that this is all love and everything's positive.
Erica is messy. Listen, I like her. Because enough of all that positivity shit. I don't want to see all this. Oh yeah, kumbaya. Oh, it was so beautiful. It was romantic when they walked into the room. And why was it red like a Diddy freak off? Like, did y'all notice that in the video? It was all red like a Diddy freak off. Whatever. That's here nor there. But you know, Erica was like, no, let's get into the meat and potatoes. Like, let's get into it. Like, screw all them pleasantries about, oh, we just love each other. Like, y'all just didn't like each other like a few days ago. Now all of y'all like each other. Get the fuck out of here with all that fake shit. You know?
Just want to go over a couple of comments that came through to give you guys an opportunity to respond. So, Claudia, I'll start with you.
I didn't realize Claudia said, oh shit. And then look at Funky face. He's all like, no, I know this some bullshit. Like, Funky did not know this. Because, you know, he tries to avoid everything like he above it and stuff like that, right? So he's looking like, oh shit.
Love me some Funky Dineva, but where was he wrong? Claudia should be apologizing. Didn't she betray him?
Oh,
don't answer that.
He said, don't answer that.
Well, in the comments, I did. I said,
yeah. But I like, you know, Erica, in all. I mean, we can go through them. I just don't think getting into the weeds of it all makes any sense at this point. What happened. People are going to feel what they feel.
Real quick, so they kind of stray off to something else, but I wonder what other questions they have. Like, I should message Erica. Hold on. I don't even know if I follow Erica or not, but I should message her, y'all, and try to see what was the other questions that they had. Because, no offense to Erica, I don't know how she thought this was ever gonna go good, but I mean, I'm like, I'm petty as hell. I'm happy that she did it because this made like a viral moment. But like, how did she think that this was gonna? Like, did she really think this was gonna go good? And mind you, this question was for Claudia. It wasn't even for Funky. So I wonder what questions did she have for Funky? You know? Oh, trust me, it gets messy. Don't worry, it still gets messy. Don't trip about that.
Claudia has her vantage point of what happened. I have my vantage point of what happened. Al has his vantage point of what happened, and it ain't changing. You know what I'm saying? All we can do is bury that. You know what I'm saying? And just choose to start anew. But I don't think getting into the minutia of audience comments and what folks got to say, I don't think that's the smartest thing to do at this time. In all honesty.
And I completely respect that.
Mhm.
I just want to be very clear too. Claudia has not seen any of these questions because honestly, the reason why I'm asking these questions is because I think if you speak to anyone who's been a part of an ensemble, especially after years of being together, people don't
look. He looking like, oh, you can tell he was pissed. And then Claudia is like, oh shit.
really understand that, like, it's not, I would always say about my co-hosts, like, I will love them forever, but there are times I just do not like them and they don't like me. And that's just what it is, because it's almost like this, it's a family dynamic. Sometimes you have your family together and you're kicking it once a year on the lakefront. Sometimes you have family members who just can never make it to the lake, going back to, you know, what we were talking about earlier. So I just find it interesting because I'm not trying to like stir things up. What I'm trying to do is resonate with the audience that just feels like maybe this is indicative of something that they've experienced in their lives. And this is something that they're working through as well. And I think that there were a lot of reasons why this became a viral moment. And one of those was the study of human behavior. How do two
this is what happens when you deal with somebody who got a degree. See the way Erica just philosophically put that and then made it seem like, well, no, we're asking because it's part of the journey and healing and all this other, like, that was perfect. A perfect spin on, you know, being messy. Listen, kudos to her. But this is why I'm rocking with Erica, because I feel like what they wanted to do was get on and be like, hey guys, we love each other and blah, blah, blah. Mind you, so this more so confirms that, okay, they did the whole reunion thing. And, you know, when he had the red freak off lights in the back and when he was quote unquote not apologizing, but basically gave her a business proposal to work again. Well, this lets you know they didn't have a conversation since then. So they haven't talked about everything. They haven't worked everything out. Like, literally, this is probably the first time like they're really going into detail about what actually happened. Like, I think both of them were basically like, okay, let's sweep up everything under the rug and then let's just start working together again. And no, that is not good. I'm one of those people that typically when I have a falling out with somebody, I will sweep everything under the rug and be like, okay, well, let's pretend like it didn't happen and let's move on. But that is not always good. But here's the thing. If you guys are doing business together and you haven't got all that decay and all that evilness out, then when you go into your new situation, it's not going to work. And listen, I also think this too. I think Erica is trying to tell Claudia telepathically, like, yo, you don't want to deal with Funky. This guy is self-absorbed. He's evil. You know, I think she is trying to telepathically tell Claudia, like, don't mess with him. Don't do it. If he ain't right, if his spirit ain't right, don't mess with him. Erica, I see you.
People who had a public falling out get to this point. And that's the only reason why
I get it.
To bring that up.
I get it.
Yeah, and Erica's very thoughtful about these types of things and likes to do the deeper dive. Her podcast about the comeback and coming back from things. So yeah, I get what you're saying.
You know my thing, Claudia, it spawns 9 million other YouTube videos. You know what I'm saying? And it spawns team wars. You know, like how do you answer that? Doesn't Claudia owe Funky Dineva an apology too? And then you don't say what they want you to say, and then it creates 400 think pieces. And then, you know, in moments of weakness, we start reading that stuff and start believing that stuff, and we're back where we left. And for me, I don't want to go back, but
I hear what you're saying. I think
you know what, Percy? I think you might be getting into something deeper. Like when we be sweeping shit under the rug with traumatic shit that happened in our family, I think you might be getting into that. That's a little deeper, but I agree with you, Percy. Shout out to Gaslit News. Yes.
I think with us moving forward, I think would be good probably for us is a conversation about anything that you had, I had without an audience.
No. I don't think I'm always pro Claudia. I think I drag Claudia just like I do the other people. But Claudia, here's the thing about Claudia. Claudia is so overly emotional and everything like that. And like somebody needs to wake up. Here's the thing. I don't think Claudia realized how great she is. Claudia still sees herself as, in Housewives' term, the friend of. She doesn't see herself as a main player, a main character. She sees herself as, I think Claudia, she really gets bothered by the things that people say about her, and she doesn't think highly of herself. She doesn't.
Audience.
Most definitely.
I think, because I do think that there is no way to truly move on from things. Just, we're good, because things will just come right back, right? The first time something goes left, bitch, I knew you was like that, or I knew they told me you burned me again. And I do believe in having like I remember doing some reality shows with some people where I said, turn the cameras off because I want a real conversation with this person. Because I actually am trying to get through it. I'm not trying to have a moment. I'm not trying to have a viral moment. So I do feel like I would love to come down to Florida, or if you ever come to Dallas, and have a real conversation where we work our, like, no matter what happens, if we work together or not, we showed on that video that there was still some love there for each other. And I feel like,
listen, if they don't work together again, Funky wants nothing to do with Claudia. I'm gonna just put that out there.
It kind of healed a little part of both of our hearts that day. I don't know. I agree.
I mean,
it was like, okay, one less person
it doesn't like me or put negative energy. I completely feel the same way. And I just think it's just one of those things that's what's done is done, and what's gonna be is what's gonna be. For me, again, being bitter, being mad, being angry, I think it's just wasted emotion. I think enough time had gone past. And listen, outside of work, we were a good time. Like when you guys came down to Miami, we were a good time. We used to have good times. And like I said at the thing, we had lightning in a goddamn bottle. We really did. And there was no reason, well, there was a lot of reasons why TGIF didn't go to the top, but there was no reason that show couldn't have gone to the top with what we had. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be the first person to say, I definitely miss the magic that we used to make, but I don't miss the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people were asking, do you regret leaving? I absolutely do not regret leaving. I will never regret choosing me over what was a toxic environment. I can miss the magic we had and still hold disdain for the bullshit that was the whole show. You know what I'm saying? So for those who are wondering, no, I don't regret leaving. Leaving was the right thing for me to do in that moment. At that point, it wasn't about the show. It wasn't about Al. It wasn't about Claudia. It was about, I didn't like coming to work being stressed out, and I didn't need the money.
I know you said that you left over the 250, and then
I was part of it as well.
Yeah. What was the bigger deal?
Oh, here's what we get to, because basically she asked him, was I the reason why you left? And remember at the party or the event that she went to, she was trying to get him to say, like, I was not the reason why you got fired or why you quit. Like, she was trying to get him to say that. And he still reefed down. I'm kind of spoiling it, but you'll hear his response. Let me let it play.
I don't know that one was the bigger deal. I think, well, I do know what the bigger deal was. The bigger deal was the everyday bullshit. The bigger deal was every day coming to work, and it was a gripe from somebody or somewhere. And it was just like, God damn it, what is it today? You know what I'm saying? And so I
have a different memory, because when we left, when it ended, it was like January, right? When you left. But right before that, November, remember we went to Houston and we were all having fun together. And after Houston, I felt like we weren't beefing, none of us, right? We were kind of like clowning Joyce in her little 20-ass shoes. She had fun, and we was having a good time. We went to the club in Houston, everything.
Good time.
Within a month and a half,
Joyce is the producer.
Your contract stuff came up, so it was like the timing of that. So really, we weren't beefing at the time when you left.
No, you and I weren't beefing. You and I didn't develop whatever until I departed. That's when things got cloudy for me. But there was still a bunch of chaos going on. It was just chaos that in my mind was just unnecessary. So when you're coming to work, and
this is what I don't understand. Like, if there was so much chaos, why do you want to go back into that chaos? Like, if you tell me something is chaotic and you don't want to be a part of it, I'm not going to want to go back to it.
And it's just always something. I'm equipped to deal with monumental problems. I'm not equipped to deal with small, gnat like mosquito like bullshit. And it was just always something from somewhere. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not calling on it. It was just always something. So I'm already sitting on pins and needles like,
Cop out.
Y'all know I don't like to work. Okay. I got to be here every day at 8 o'clock. And then I was.
What did I say? He don't want to work that hard. It's, believe it or not, doing this, what I do, it's hard work.
Misled in my original contract negotiation. And when my contract came up and they did not make right on what they misled me into signing that 6-month contract for, I was just like, there's no reason for me to stay. They're just,
which I knew nothing about until it happened.
You guys didn't know about my contract.
Yeah,
you guys knew about my contract.
We're all separate with us.
Yeah, we were all separate.
Did you know that at the time, though? Because I'm just curious when you said that you were misled. Is that a situation where, as time went on after the show was over, you learned new information that potentially changed your mind about how things went down or who might have been to blame?
No. There was no new information. I exited with the same level of clarity that I have today. The short of it is I was convinced to sign a 6-month contract, and I was told that what I was asking for during that contract renewal will be addressed at the end of that 6 months, because I was going to walk then. And I don't want people to think that, oh, I'm being selfish or I thought that I was bigger than the show. But the reality of the situation is I did not need Fox Soul to sit on YouTube. I had been on YouTube for, at this point, 14 years. And so I'm sitting in a space, essentially.
Here's the thing, but him, Claudia, and Al get back together, right? What they think they're going to be doing? Sitting on YouTube. So that doesn't make any sense to me. They're going to be sitting on YouTube. I don't know. And here's the thing too, because when I was in LA, Claudia was actually in LA too. No, we didn't meet, but this is public knowledge. She was pitching to different networks and stuff like that and pitching different shows. So one, would Claudia even have time to really, be doing this whole show with Funky again? And then two, what if she already pitched her own talk show? You don't need another talk show at that time because you're already doing your own. And let's be honest, even though Accidentally Informed is not the same as TGIF, it's essentially the same because you're talking about celebrity gossip, trending topics. Like, if you like, is Claudia gonna have 30 shows where she's talking about trending topics? That doesn't make any sense. That's a conflict of interest, and nobody wants to hear you talk about trending topics 30 bajillion times. It doesn't make any sense, right?
What I was helping create over at Fox Soul, I could have just continued to do for myself like I had been doing for over a decade at that point. So it no longer began to make sense. And then the $250 thing, for me, it was just the respect thing. It was like, what job do you tell somebody, hey, Erica, you're part-time and we're going to pay you $10 an hour part-time. Guess what, Erica? We made you full-time, but we're going to cut you from $10 an hour to $8 an hour. That's not the way it works. You know what I'm saying? So why is it when we were 2 days a week, I was worth $10, but when we go to 5 days a week, now I'm worth $8. And then you say, oh, Q, don't worry. We got you. We're just waiting for the new ratings to come in and the new advertising dollars. And just sign a 6 month. And at the end of the 6 month, we're going to make it all right. So cool. That was the pretext by which I signed the 6 month contract. I had even forgotten that my contract was up. We went on break and legal department hit me in a frenzy. And they're like, your contract is up. Are you going to resign? So my agent and I are like, well, send us over the contract. And when they sent it over, it was the same exact contract that was extended to us at the beginning of the program. And for me, that's disrespect. All right. Listen, I know what I contributed to TGIF. I know what I brought to Fox Soul. And after the 250, we said, fine, we get it. There's no money. Can you at least put them on the health insurance? And when that man said he wouldn't even put me on the health insurance, I'm a former accountant. A company that large, it would have cost them $79 every pay period to put me on the damn health insurance. And the fact that you said no, for me, I felt very disrespected and I felt like I wasn't valued. I said, fuck it, y'all can have it.
Can I just jump in really quickly because I understand.
Here's the thing about the whole $250 or whatnot. I still feel like Funky should have stayed, and this is the reason why. Because technically he was still on his YouTube channel. Like he wasn't going live like he does now, right? But he did upload a video, so he was still able to do that. And don't forget, Al started his Court of Public Opinion. He started doing that show while he was still at Fox Soul, mind you. And he would go live like right after the show with his little show. So Funky definitely could have did a show before Fox Soul, or he did a show after Fox Soul, but he still could have hustled and made his money on the side. And where he does have that paycheck where he's not forcing himself to go live 5 times a week, because as you know, he said, I don't like to work. He could have just did, maybe like an after show every Tuesday, Thursday. At Tuesday, Thursday after Fox Soul, he would do a after show or something like that. That way he doesn't have to work that hard. So again, it's weird that he wants to go back into the same situation that he left. And I guess he's assuming like, okay, we'll be able to get a better deal. But even with that being said, when a company looks at them, they're going to see, oh, you were on Fox Soul, but they had the backing of Fox Soul. This is something that they're doing on their own. So you know what that means? They're going to have to put their own money into this in order to produce it. And these people are going to want a pilot done. They're going to want a pilot show done. And then after that, well, hell, where do you film it? Al lives kind of like all over the place. Claudia lives in Dallas, and then Funky lives in Atlanta. So where do they record the show? Where do they it got to be feasible and it got to make sense? Or do they just do it online? Because if they just go back to doing it online, virtually, then you might as well just do it on YouTube. Funky thinking they're going to get a TV deal straight out the gate. I don't know about that. I don't know if they can do it. I mean, I would love for them to do it, but I just don't know if it's going to work out like that. I feel like, yeah, that was with Fox Soul, so that was one thing, but you're trying to take that show with which you have to completely come up with a new concept, because you can't. Claudia didn't get the rights to TGIF, right?
Dan, I can understand your position, especially because you're like a godfather of YouTube, like Black YouTube. So I get that, like, you're also in a position to be like, well, I'm already very successful on this platform, but I'm going to also kind of turn this question a little bit, because you seem like the beef was really with the network, and because Claudia was a part of the creative and production, were you conflating her with the network? Because we did hear you say that the problem was Claudia. I have to ask that.
Absolutely not. And in the moment, post the show, when I did my video and I said, I don't have a problem with so-and-so, my problem is with that damn Claudia Jordan, I meant it when I said it, because it was. Because of things that had transpired post me leaving, or things that had gotten back to me, and things that I had witnessed and been a part of while I was there. Again, and I'm sure Claudia can say the same.
Look at Claudia. Oh, hold on. She looked a little high right there.
About me, that,
yo, you could tell like Claudia was all like, oh shit, not again. Princess, you better ask somebody. I am the Godfather. Yeah, like you could tell like Claudia's like, oh my God, like that was like a dagger to the heart right there. Like, no, he's all like, no, I meant that. I meant that she was the problem. Mm-hmm. And then look at Erica. She's like, oh shit.
She had issues or problems or opinions. There's enough blame to go around. You know what I'm saying? And it was a cornucopia of things. It was not solely Claudia. It was not solely Al. And it was not solely the contract. If I'm being honest, it was the day-to-day bickering and crap that was going on in the background. That shit was getting on my nerve. Had they given me my $250, I would have sat through it. But it was like, to sit through that, I don't feel valued and I don't need this. I'm cool. I just rather have my peace and be at home by myself. I don't need it. And that was the blessing of it all. I did not need the job.
I'm taking it back. The part where you said that you're standing on saying that was me at that time, because when you left a really beautiful message for Al and myself. And I believed it, that I love y'all. We'll work together again. And we have some text messages.
Oh, Claudia looked like she was about to cry, y'all. And Erica just like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Like, you know, like when you do like this on YouTube, right? Because they do it live, right? And you're just thinking like, oh, this ain't good. Like when I do a show, I have it in my head the way it's gonna go, how I'm gonna lay out the show, and then how I'm going to end it, and everything is gonna be so sweet. When it doesn't go the way that you imagine it goes, y'all, like, you just want to completely end the show. When the show is going towards the shitter, like, I want to immediately just end the show. But I know if I do that, it's going to be a story. So I usually try to, you know, keep it going, keep a smile on my face, and just try to, you know, muster through it as much as I can. So I already know how they're feeling internally. But let's go.
I said, we can even take this off of Fox Soul and we can avoid a lot of the drama. I think a lot of that was that. So I thought you were just saying that in anger, and I actually thought you weren't going to stand on that. I feel like there was a lot of manipulation that was going on, and we don't got to get into that in front of everybody right now. That you weren't really getting the real exact story of everything. And I'll just leave it at that, because it went from love, I love you back, you know, we're going to do this again, we're going to spin the block, to me being the villain in the story, where it was that damn Claudia Jordan. I'm like, wait, what? Because I was looking at my text thread with you where it was love outside of the cameras when it was just us. So that's when I said it's your thing. I was like, I was hurt, you know, by that, because I'm like, wait, there was enough drama for us. We all have had some drama there, and we've all had our crash outs. You know, we worked together for 3 years, 5 days a week. 3 years we did?
Yeah, that's about.
So, you know, there's been times where I had to bite my tongue when you were acting unprofessionally. There was times where you had to bite your tongue when I was going off on Joyce. There was times when we both bit our tongues when Al was crashing out and doing his thing. So, you know, it was a family, as Erica said, but it was a dysfunctional one.
It was a dysfunctional family. It was.
The highs were really high.
They were.
And the lows, to me, weren't worse than the highs. The highs were great because we had more good days than bad.
We did.
I heard from your mouth that you do not like to work, and you made that very clear. I need to be at the bar on Friday night. I don't want to work 5 days a week, and we made it to 4. And I will say, with all that went down, not many people can say they had a show on linear television 5 days a week for 3 years, 4 seasons really. And what we did was a big deal.
It was.
It was. And started during COVID when everybody else was losing their jobs. We created one, we had one, and it flourished and it multiplied. And like we said at your event, Africa people, European people.
We had everybody.
To this day. And that means a lot.
Listen, I gotta give Claudia credit, because the way she like turned this around and made it positive. Because if you would have told me like, oh no, I still say you were the problem, I would have went off. And let me tell you guys something. And y'all already know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to say a name. But there's somebody who y'all hate whenever I forgive this person. Mind you, I'm not forgiving this person ever again. We're completely done. But I used to have this back and forth where I would forgive this person and they would come on my panel, right? And we would have a discussion publicly, and it was very tense. And y'all would be eating this person up in the comments because y'all like, This person didn't apologize. They're not taking accountability. What you did to AT2 was effed up. Apologize. And they would give some kind of bullshit apology. And I would just kind of accept it just so like it didn't turn ugly on the show. So you kind of make yourself small to make somebody else feel bigger. And I would never do that again. And so Claudia literally bit her tongue and made herself smaller just to feed Funky's ego. That's what she did right now. Oh, yo, I just got triggered. I'm triggered. Yo, I just got triggered. Oh, shit. Yo.
You know? But
you know, we can't go without giving credit to Claudia, who was the brainchild behind bringing all of us together. You guys know how it started with us kicking it at Cynthia Bailey's wedding. The story's all over the internet. You guys can go back and rehash it. But you know, yeah, you felt something, you saw something, you brought us all together, and it was magic. And you know, it's the feeling that I miss. I miss the feel. Like I'm telling you, when I saw those clips and just me cracking a joke and like your natural expressions when I'd be going, and then Al over there laughing uncontrollable. It's like a drug. I miss that high. I do miss that high. And I just wonder if there is a world, a universe where we get the high back without the bullshit.
That would be amazing. But I don't want you to leave this with feeling like it was some kind of, you know, set up like that. I don't feel it. You don't even I'm in my head like, oh shit.
No.
I don't feel that way at all. And if it would have been, I would have windmilled the hell out of both of y'all.
I know. I was like, okay, but look, I do want to say, as the voice of the audience and as an outsider,
of course,
both of y'all sat down and did very extensive interviews with Carlos King. And I learned so much about both of you. And I thought that it was an amazing opportunity to get something that we wouldn't have necessarily have gotten. And I want to tell anybody who hasn't seen that, that there's an understanding there. It's not that I know people are accusing me of being the mess. And I'm like,
let it be you for one time.
I know, it's like, I'm kind of excited to be the mess. I never get to be the mess.
Erica, you better know how to fight because it's a hard position to be in.
I'm like, that's okay. I'll be in the water. No. But I really want people to understand that, like, you know, obviously.
You know, I'm kind of was wondering that too, because Addicted, obviously this shows like they did not have a conversation since Saturday or Sunday or whatever day they met up, or that event. I think it was Saturday. They did not have a conversation. Like Claudia probably was all like, hey, Funky, come by on the show and, you know, let's talk and, you know, come on the show and we'll have a good time. Not knowing that, Erica was going to ask him for questions and all this other stuff. And, I think Funky didn't know what he was signing up for. And then Claudia didn't know that Erica had some questions. And I think basically the reason why Erica was asking those questions, you guys, was trying to warn Claudia, like, open up your eyes. Like, you're being desperate and you shouldn't be desperate at your age. Like, wake the F up. Like, you know, this guy still is about himself.
Things happen.
Man, I do sound pro Claudia. I've never been this pro Claudia before, but just seeing how everything went down with this situation, and I've always been more on Funky's side because I was like, oh, he escaped all that drama, blah, blah, blah. But now that he's the one saying like he wants to get the team back together, it just don't seem genuine to me. It don't.
I really want people to understand like the dynamics and complexity of the both of you. I can't speak to what happened. I just think that was a really great opportunity to understand something that we wouldn't have gotten. And I wanted to throw that out there.
Indeed. Carlos is good at what he does. And listen, you know, again, if you put everybody from TGIF in a separate room and let them do a confessional.
No.
Everybody has their perspective
Y'all are
and their
crazy.
vantage point of who was right and who was wrong, and everybody stands on how they feel. We all went through the same thing from different vantage points.
We're not friends, we're YouTubers, basically. Yeah.
And who's right and who's wrong? The answer is none of us are right and none of us are wrong. We're just human beings. We had an experience with a network and a show, and the experience was what it was. I think at this moment, it's just about what we can take from it, what we can learn from it, how we can grow from it, and hopefully how we can monetize the shit.
I want to read a couple comments. Well, this one right here. TTLL Shady says, I'm not crazy about either of them individually, but I love TGIF with them.
Okay. Oh, hey, well, listen, we'll take it where we can get it.
Oh my God. I want to say this. Hey, so seeing how, your text me reach started from you kind of going down memory lane with nostalgia.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop it right there. But the way that I felt about the whole situation, they haven't done the healing. They haven't done the actual work. I feel like there's still more work that they need to do. This crew did. Now, I'm not saying that they can't possibly ever work together again or anything like that, but it has to be from a genuine place. And for me, I still don't feel that it's genuine. I feel that there's still some animosity and there's still some things that they need to talk about, especially if you think that I'm the reason if you're telling people that you quit because of me and you felt I was doing shady stuff and all this shit, that's a problem for me. I can't move on from that. So I would ask, like, okay, do you still feel that way? And if you feel that way, then, we can agree to disagree, but we will not be doing a show together. We will never work together, but, we can be cool. Because you can't hold that over against me that I was the reason why. Nah, that ain't cool. Because he doesn't want to work that hard. That's why. He said like twice he was lazy and he don't like to work. So yeah, that's why. They need to get back to work together and get that bag. And here's the thing. I believe that you don't have to like everybody that you work with, right? You do not have to like everybody that you work with. However, the issue that I'm seeing is that there's still some tension. There's still some things that have not been worked out. And because again, if they could be professional and put the bullshit aside and still work, TGIF would still be a thing, right? But the reason why TGIF cannot work is because they can't put the bullshit aside. So if they don't do that, then it will never, be right. How do you think Al feels about good? Where is Al? Like, they doing all this reunion, and I'm assuming Al is a part of it, but is Al a part of it? I don't know. They all either one, underestimate the other's worth, or two, overestimate their own worth. True. I like them each for different reasons. You can tell they all had their shady moments. 3 friends never work. Oh. And thank you, Serena. I appreciate the donation. Yeah. If it's not genuine, don't do it. That's the only thing I can say. If it's not genuine, don't do it. It has to come from a genuine place. And I don't feel that right now is the right time. And again, where is Al? Like, I feel like that component still needs to be worked out. Like, is Al cool with this? Like, is he on board for a reunion? Have him and Claudia talk? Because, Claudia says that she's went on record saying that she doesn't want anything to do with Al. But then she said, like, she would work with Al, but she don't want to be his friend or talk to him. So I don't know. It's almost all like, damn, Claudia, what did Al do? If Al didn't take your money, you need to get over it. If he didn't steal any money from you, get over it. I don't care what it was. If he didn't hurt your dog or hurt your cat or, do anything to your family, get over whatever you got. And you need to talk to Al, At least Al is gonna be professional. You know, Funky just told you, like, no, you still the fucking reason why I left that goddamn show. Damn. Y'all gonna get Claudia to unfollow me. See what y'all did? Claudia definitely gonna unfollow my ass. I had a 3 because I've been thinking about taking a clip and putting it on my new Instagram. Make sure you guys follow my new Instagram. On my new Instagram. But yeah, I know Claudia would see it and she'd probably get pissed. I had 3-person friendship in high school. We all ended up falling out eventually. So you think trios can't last? Okay. No to trios. Al and I have the same birthday. He will be a problem. If he's still mad, he will be an agent of chaos. Yeah. And you know what they should do? They should film them going to couples therapy and make like a reality show out of it. Get to the bag. Because I know Claudia has done reality TV. Al has done reality TV. Like, you know, and Funky has made appearances on reality shows. Like the whole getting TGIF, getting the band back together, that needs to be produced into a show. And I want my credit for being a creator of that, by the way. But yeah, they need to produce it and make it into a show, like, you know, getting the band back together, you know, TGIF resurgence or something. The Real Housewives of TGI, ding, 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 ding. Exactly. The Real Housewives of TGIF. I would watch it. I definitely would watch it. That would be a fire. Listen. Watch they steal my idea and don't give me no money for it. Let me go ahead and put a trademark on that before they steal that shit. But yeah, that would be a good idea, you know? Ain't none of them married? Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. But I mean, the concept, they'll work it in. And let Armand tap in. You know, I was thinking also too about the Armand component, but I think for Armand, I think he's trying to do his big one in New York. You know, he's trying to get on Angela Yee's show. He's trying to get some kind of his own deal, his own thing. Carlos King is listening. Yo, Carlos can produce it. Listen, Shonda, he can produce it. Right. Good TV. Desperate Housewives. You know what? I forget that's where the Real Housewives, the whole concept comes from the Desperate Housewives, but I didn't really watch. I'm not watching no Housewives, so I didn't really know about that. But yeah. That could be sexually frustrated. No Armand. Oh, you don't want Armand. Oh, wow. Al is not needed. Ooh, no, you gotta put Al in there. You can't just have a reunion without Al. I think Armand works best by himself. I think Armand needs his own thing, his own thing. I don't think as far as Armand being an ensemble, as far as that, you know, like him doing like the Angela Yee radio show, I feel like that more fits him than TGIF. Because you got to remember, even with TGIF, it was kind of like, I don't think his platform and his ideas and his thought process was very diverse. At least for me, I don't think it was very diverse. He couldn't shift and change. Like that wasn't good, a good fit for him. I think as far as him being, you know, coming from YouTube and then going on that show and getting the platform and stuff like that, yeah, that was great. But I don't think he was the right fit for that show. No. And I think, and you know what? I don't even think it was necessarily like he wasn't the right fit. He wasn't Funky Dineva. Does that make sense? You know, it's kind of like when they put in light skin Aunt Viv. They got rid of dark skin Aunt Viv, and then they put in light skin Aunt Viv, and we're just supposed to pretend like it's the same person. And it's all like, no, that's not the same person. And I'm not saying Armand is less than Funky. it just wasn't funky. Like it wasn't the same chemistry. It was different. He's great for radio. Yep. Yeah, the music would definitely be more his thing. Talking about Armand. Co-host, yep. Yeah, the Breakfast Club, they worked out their issues. Yeah, it definitely can be done. Now that I look at it, I think that Breakfast Club thing was kind of like a setup almost. Like, I don't know how real it was. I almost feel like they set that shit up to try to. I got some conspiracy theories, but I'll just leave it alone. Armand can stay with his baby oil. Let me get the hell up out of here before y'all get me in trouble. I love y'all. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We out of here, y'all. And let me know what you guys think. Do you guys still want the TGIF reunion, or throw that shit in the trash? Let me know. Love y'all.